The Basadi in Music Awards is celebrating women in the industry. I stand here with a published offer. Many women and many of us yearn to be in that spotlight. How are you? When did you write this? What is it about?
Hi, my name is Thandeka Makhubu. I am 19 years old, and this is my debut novel titled Where We Belong. It's a book about toxic masculinity and men's mental health. And I decided to write the book because of the high COVID abuse rates during COVID 19, where a lot of people found themselves going through mental health strain without their friends, without their families, without access to the things they would do every day. They were cut off from social interactions, which depressed a lot of people. And then I think as much as it cut off access for some things, it actually allowed some people in some households to have too much access to maybe toxic relationships. So a lot of people were saying that they were stuck at home with people who were not necessarily good for them. There were tons of arguments, lots of strain, lots of couples were breaking up. You know, a lot of people were feeling a lot of things during COVID. And of course, there was some abuse going on there as well. And when I saw this, I started to think, okay, great. Okay, well, not great.
Not great, but obviously great that you have a solution for
Exactly,
it.
exactly. Like, okay, cool, I get it. Something's happening. Now we can look back and think to ourselves, okay, so why is this happening? Why are guys needing to instill power in this way? Where is it coming from? Why is it important? And then I started to think about toxic masculinity, which was something a lot of people were talking about. And luckily for me, on social media, I'm not the only one who's starting that kind of conversation around this time. So it feels really great to have a community already recognizing that men's mental health and dealing with that is just another extension of dealing with women's mental health and women's issues.
So what I get is that this is a solution for, to mend broken families, to reinvent ourselves and post the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Who's your target market? Who gets to read this book? Who must go and buy this book?
I think this book is necessary pretty much in every friendship group. I want it to be something that a lot of boys in boys' schools are talking about because it's such a concentrated male space.
Yeah.
I want it to be something that a lot of people are buying for their brothers, their sisters. People are buying them from their sons. I want it to be something people consider to be an important book and that you all need it. And I think it's an incredible story because it's relatable. It's not only about masculinity and just like condemning it. It's about like seeing how difficult it is. It's a teenager and he's trying to fall in love and he's got his girlfriend here who's giving him some trouble and she's dumping him half the way and he's dealing with relationships. What do you do when your partner wants to leave? What do you do when long distance happens? What do you do when they come back? And then what happens when you want to move in another direction? And then as a man, you also need to be, showing that you're growing and growing strong to your dad, to your friends, to your school. And what happens when who you are and the love that you find contradicts everything that's been shown about a man. It speaks a lot about dads who are maybe heavy, and then also dads who are just not there. And, understanding my male friends and how that feels for them.
All right, on to that. Where can people get the book? Where is it published, distributed? How do we get our hands on it?
So the book is currently available on Amazon and Take-A-Lot, but I also think that with more announcements, I'll make it available at a couple of launches that I'll be hosting, and then thereafter it'll be available at bookstores.
Would you be considering to go to high schools where a lot of our young children are starting to get a foundation of the base of their future?
Yes.
To go and make an impartation with your offering in terms of your book.
Yes, most definitely. I would definitely be interested in doing that. I think also writing it from a perspective that came from a high school place. I was writing as a teenager for other teenagers, and I wanted to deal with a lot of topics. I wanted to deal with mental health. I wanted to deal with depression, and I wanted to deal with bullying because I was going through that myself. I wanted to talk about the teenage experience, but in conjunction with abuse and where it came from and toxic masculinity, speaking about my experience in high school and as a young person, and binding it with a bigger message for the country. Just felt like it would make the perfect story.
Good. A great offering indeed. Where We Belong, an offering, a book by Thandeka Makhubu. We wish her all the best with her book. May you go on and thrive. High five for that. Thank you.